Well, I think it's interesting. The president recently has been talking about how talks and negotiations with North Korea could help make North Korea a more prosperous country. Right now it's very poor. Most of its people really have very little to live on. The problem with that is that merely getting an arms control agreement, as difficult as that will be, is not enough. There are provisions written into U.S. law that say that economic sanctions are also linked to human rights improvements. So until and unless North Korea addresses some of those human rights concerns that we have, Congress is unlikely to approve any sort of a deal with North Korea. So it has to be part of the broader negotiations. With the Bush Institute, we've been working on North Korean issues for several years, and from the very get-go, one of our strongest beliefs is that we need to address human rights at the same time as we're addressing the tremendous security challenges that North Korea poses. We believe that the security threat that we face is actually linked to those human rights abuses. Things like slave labor or military first policies allow the North Korean regime to prioritize threats to the outside world over the welfare of its people. We think there's some basic steps that the administration can take to start addressing these human rights abuses. One is to look for a small step. It could be something as simple as helping on issues like people with disabilities, where there's a tremendous issue in North Korea. It's non-controversial, and it would be a way to start cooperation and start accountability for the regime. Another is that the administration thus far has not appointed a special envoy on North Korean human rights. Congress just reauthorized this position last year. The position's been vacant for over 2 years now, and it's one that we believe needs to be filled. Another thing that we could do is to insist that this issue gets raised at the United Nations. The UN's Commission of Inquiry report several years ago was a landmark document. It really showed the nature and the breadth of the human rights abuses there. It's important for us to follow up on that and not lose the momentum that has been gained. Another easy step is working with our allies in the region and elsewhere. Countries like South Korea and Japan have a great interest in what's happening there. The broader world of democracies has a great interest. Let's work together on this and make sure that it's part of the conversation. And finally, something we can be doing is encouraging, not discouraging, North Korean refugees from coming to the United States. We have a program in place, but it's been very limited over the last couple of years. These people are an asset to our society, and we believe that they ought to have the ability to come here and seek asylum.